Because I am! Hello everyone! Or as they say in Thailand, Sawasdee krap. I'm so excited I can barely sit still. We're about to talk about one of my favorite places on Earth, a region that is just an explosion of life, color, and the most incredible flavors you can imagine, Southeast Asia. I've put together some of my favorite tips, tricks, and little things I've learned along the way to help you plan your own amazing journey. These aren't just rules. Think of them as friendly suggestions from a guy who loves to eat and meet people. Now, whether you've got more stamps in your passport than a post office or you're just starting to dream about your first big trip, I promise there's something in here for you. We're going to cover everything. The goal here is simple, to make sure your adventure is as smooth, delicious, and full of joy as it can possibly be. I want you to feel confident, prepared, and most importantly, ready to have the time of your life. Because trust me, a trip here is more than a vacation. It's a memory you'll cherish forever. So what do you say? Are you hungry for adventure? I know I am. Let's not waste another second. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's dive right into planning your incredible trip to Southeast Asia. I can almost smell the lemongrass and hear the bustling markets already. This is going to be fantastic. Let's go! Alright, first things first. Before you even pack a single sock, you gotta do a little homework. I know, homework sounds boring, but this is the fun kind. Every country in Southeast Asia is like a different person with its own unique personality, its own stories, its own way of saying hello. You wouldn't walk into someone's house and put your feet on their coffee table without knowing them, right? Same idea here. A little bit of research into the culture, the customs, and the local etiquette goes a very, very long way. It's the difference between being a tourist and being a guest. And trust me, you want to be a guest. Let's talk specifics. In Thailand, for instance, the head is considered sacred, so you never ever touch someone's head. And the feet? They're considered the lowest, most humble part of the body. So pointing your feet at people, or especially at religious statues like the Buddha, is a big no-no. It's these little things, these small gestures of respect that open doors. It shows you care, that you've made an effort. And when people see that you're trying, they open up, they smile. And that's when the real magic of travel happens. That's when you get invited for a home-cooked meal. You see what I'm getting at? So, read a little, watch a documentary, learn a few words, even just hello and thank you. In Vietnam, you've got Xin Chao and Cam On. It's not about being perfect, it's about the effort. When you show people you respect their world, they are so much more willing to share it with you. And their world is beautiful and delicious, and something you will never ever forget. This is the foundation for an amazing trip. You're building a bridge before you even cross it. Money, we gotta talk about it. It's not the most romantic part of travel, but if you don't have it sorted, you're not gonna be eating those delicious bowls of pho, are you? So, let's get practical. My advice? Always try to have a little bit of the local currency on you when you land. Whether it's Thai baht, Vietnamese dong, or Indonesian rupiah, having some cash for a taxi or a bottle of water right out of the airport just makes life easier. It removes that initial moment of panic. You can usually get a small amount from your bank at home before you even leave. Now for the rest of the trip, ATMs are your best friend. They are everywhere in the main towns and cities. But here's the key. Tell your bank you're going. You don't want them to see a transaction from Bali, think your card's been stolen, and freeze your account. That's a headache you don't need. A quick phone call or online notification before you go saves the day. Also, be aware that many local ATMs have withdrawal limits and might charge a fee, so it's sometimes better to take out a larger amount at once rather than lots of small withdrawals. Just be discreet about it, okay? And hey, you know me, I'm all about finding the best food, and guess what? It's often the cheapest. Eating street food is not only a culinary adventure, but it's also incredibly budget-friendly. A few dollars can get you a meal that you'll be dreaming about for years. The same goes for accommodation. While fancy hotels are nice, staying in a local guest house or even a hostel is a fantastic way to save money and, more importantly, meet other travelers and get local tips. Your wallet will thank you and you'll have richer experiences. It's a win-win. Okay, this chapter is very important, so listen up. It's the boring stuff, the paperwork, but if you don't get this right, your trip might end before it even begins, and nobody wants that. I'm talking about visas and passports. First things first, look at your passport. Right now, go get it. Is it valid for at least 6 months from the date you plan to leave Southeast Asia, not the date you arrive? This is a non-negotiable rule for most countries. They won't let you in if it's about to expire. Check it, double check it, and if you need to renew it, do it months in advance. Next up, visas. The rules are different for everyone, depending on your passport and how long you plan to stay. Some countries might give you a visa exemption for a short tourist trip, meaning you can just show up. For others, you might need to apply for a visa online beforehand, an e-visa, or even go to an embassy. The only way to know for sure is to check the official embassy or consulate website for each country you plan to visit. Don't trust a blog post from 3 years ago, rules can change. Do the official research. It takes a few minutes and saves you from a potential disaster at the airport. Last tip on this, and it's a lifesaver. Once you have your passport, your visas, your flight confirmations, your hotel bookings, make copies. Take pictures of them with your phone. Email them to yourself. Keep a separate digital copy in a cloud service like Google Drive or Dropbox. Maybe even print a physical copy and keep it separate from the originals. If, heaven forbid, you lose your passport or your wallet gets misplaced, having these copies will make the process of getting replacements at your embassy a million times easier. It's your backup plan. Now that we've got the serious stuff out of the way, we can get back to the fun. Your health is your wealth, especially when you're thousands of miles from home. We all want to be eating everything in sight, not feeling under the weather in a hotel room, right? So, let's talk about staying safe and healthy. Before you go, it's a really good idea to have a chat with your doctor or, visit a travel clinic. They can tell you about any recommended vaccinations for the specific regions you're visiting. Things like hepatitis A and typhoid are often recommended. It's just a quick pinch that gives you incredible peace of mind so you can eat that mystery skewer with confidence. And on that note, let's build a little first aid kit. Nothing crazy, just the basics. Some band-aids for blisters from all the walking you'll do, antiseptic wipes, pain relievers, and definitely some medicine for an upset stomach just in case. I also swear by mosquito repellent, especially in the evenings and in rural areas. Those little guys can be a real nuisance. And of course, sunscreen. The Southeast Asian sun is no joke. A little preparation means you can handle minor scrapes or a headache yourself without having to find a pharmacy. Now, let's talk about the glorious food and water. The golden rule is simple. If it's cooked fresh and hot in front of you, you're generally good to go. For water, stick to bottled or filtered water. Avoid tap water, even for brushing your teeth if you have a sensitive stomach. And be cautious with ice in your drinks unless you're in a reputable hotel or restaurant where you know it's made from filtered water. And for your valuables, be smart. Don't flash expensive jewelry or wads of cash. Use the hotel safe. A little bit of caution lets you relax and enjoy everything else without worry. We touched on this earlier, but it's so important we're giving it its own chapter. Respect. It's the secret ingredient to any great travel experience. It's what turns a simple interaction into a genuine connection. When you're visiting temples, wats, or mosques, which are some of the most beautiful and serene places you'll ever see, remember that these are active places of worship. This means dressing modestly. Cover your shoulders and knees. Many temples will offer a sarong to borrow if you're not dressed appropriately, but it's a wonderful sign of respect to show up prepared. Another beautiful custom you'll see everywhere is removing your shoes. Before you enter a temple, someone's home, or even some small shops, you'll see a pile of shoes by the door. That's your cue. Take yours off. It's a simple act that says, I respect your space. It's also just more comfortable, isn't it? And what about taking pictures? The people, the faces, the smiles, they are the heart and soul of Southeast Asia. But always ask for permission before taking a close-up photo of someone. A simple smile and a gesture towards your camera is all it takes. More often than not, you'll be met with a warm, welcoming smile. And remember those few words we talked about learning? Hello, goodbye, thank you. This is where they come into play every single day. Using a little bit of the local language, even if your pronunciation is terrible, shows you're trying. It breaks the ice. It brings a smile to people's faces. They appreciate the effort so much. These aren't just rules to follow, they are bridges to connect with the incredible people you're there to meet. Be kind, be humble, be a gracious guest, and the entire region will open its arms to you. Alright, let's talk about getting from point A to point B, where point B is hopefully a delicious restaurant. Southeast Asia has some of the most interesting and fun ways to get around. The king of city transport has to be the tuk-tuk or the auto rickshaw. These three-wheeled wonders are everywhere. They're perfect for shortish distances, and riding in one, with the city whizzing by, is an experience in itself. Here's the key. Always agree on the price before you get in. Have your destination ready, maybe on a map on your phone, show the driver, and settle on a fare. A little friendly haggling is often part of the fun. For longer distances between cities or even countries, you have fantastic options. The bus and train networks are extensive and incredibly affordable. Overnight trains in particular can be a real adventure. You get a bunk bed, you can watch the countryside roll by, and you wake up in a new city. It's a hotel and transportation all in one. Buses are also great, ranging from basic local rides to fancy VIP coaches with reclining seats and air conditioning. It's a wonderful way to see the landscape and travel alongside local people. Now let's talk about motorbikes and scooters. Renting one can give you an amazing sense of freedom, especially on islands or in the countryside. But, and this is a big but, please be careful. Only do it if you are an experienced and confident rider. Always wear a helmet. It's the law, and it's just plain smart. Make sure you have the proper international driving permit and that your travel insurance covers you for scooter accidents. The roads can be chaotic. If you're not 100% comfortable, just grab a tuk-tuk or use a ride-hailing app like Grab. Safety first, so you can keep adventuring. After a long day of exploring, eating, and honestly walking until your feet ache, you really need a good place to rest and recharge. So let's talk about accommodation for a minute. The variety in Southeast Asia is just, well, incredible. You can find everything from a $5 a night dorm bed in a backpacker hostel to the most luxurious, over-the-top resort you can possibly imagine. What you choose just depends on your budget and your style. My advice? Try a little bit of everything. Maybe go for a social hostel in one city, then a quiet family-run guest house in the next, and perhaps you can even splurge on one nice hotel with a pool for a night or two. If you're traveling during the high season, think Christmas, New Year's, or major local holidays, it's honestly a really good idea to book your accommodation in advance, especially in popular spots like Phuket or Bali. The best places can fill up weeks or even months ahead of time. But during the shoulder or low seasons, you have way more flexibility. You can often just show up in a town and find a place. This gives you the freedom to change your plans on a whim, which is honestly one of the great joys of traveling here. Here's my favorite tip for finding a great place. Read the reviews. Websites like Booking.com, Agoda, and Hostelworld are your friends. But don't just look at the score. Read what people are actually saying. Did they mention the location was great but noisy? Was the staff helpful? Was the breakfast delicious? And hey, consider staying in a local neighborhood just outside the main tourist bubble. It might be a little quieter, a little cheaper, and you get a much more authentic feel for the place. You'll find those little local restaurants that aren't in any guidebook. And that, my friends, is pure treasure. Finally, my favorite subject. The food. If there is one reason to travel to Southeast Asia, this is it. It's a full-on assault on your senses, but in the best possible way. The sizzling sounds from the woks, the smell of lemongrass and chili in the air, the vibrant colors of the fresh fruit, it's just amazing. My advice is simple: be brave, eat everything, especially the street food. This is not just food, it's the heart and soul of the culture served up on a plastic plate for $1. These recipes have been passed down for generations. This is where you find the real flavor of a place. Now, how do you pick a good street food stall? It's actually pretty easy. Look for two things: heat and a crowd. You want to see them cooking your food fresh to order right in front of you, nice and hot. And if there's a line of local people waiting, you know you've found a winner. Locals always know best. Don't be afraid to just point at what looks good if you don't know the name. A smile and a point will get you a delicious meal almost anywhere. From a steaming bowl of pho in Hanoi, to a plate of pad thai in Bangkok, or a savory nasi goreng in Bali, you are really in for the culinary adventure of a lifetime. And to wash it all down, you have to try the fresh fruit smoothies and juices. Mango, passion fruit, pineapple, they're just incredible. And the coffee. Vietnamese iced coffee with that sweet condensed milk will honestly change your life. As for water, as we said before, stick to sealed bottled water to be safe. But don't be afraid of everything else. Be curious, be adventurous. Let your taste buds lead the way. Eating here isn't just about sustenance. It's about joy, it's about community, and it's about discovering something new and delicious around every single corner. In today's world, being connected can really make travel so much easier. I know, the idea is to disconnect from work and stress, but having a little bit of internet in your pocket can be a real game changer for logistics. My number one tip is to get a local SIM card as soon as you arrive. You can usually find them right at the airport or in any 7-Eleven or phone shop. For just a few dollars, you can get a tourist SIM with a generous amount of data that will last you for your whole trip. It's so much cheaper than using roaming from your home provider. Having data means you can use maps to navigate, look up a restaurant review on the fly, use a translation app to communicate, or book a Grab, the Southeast Asian version of Uber. It gives you independence and a safety net. Before you go, I'd also recommend downloading a few useful apps while you have good Wi-Fi. Google Maps and Google Translate are essential. You can even download offline maps and language packs for when you don't have a signal. Apps for booking accommodation and a currency converter are also super helpful to have right on your phone. But let's talk about the other kind of connection, the more important kind, the human connection. While your phone is a great tool, don't forget to put it away. Make eye contact, smile at people. Use those few local phrases you practiced. Ask your guest house owner for their favorite place to eat. Strike up a conversation with another traveler in your hostel. The best travel moments don't happen when you're staring at a screen. They happen when you're engaged with the world around you, sharing a laugh with a stranger who, by the end of the conversation, feels like a friend. We are so lucky to get to visit these beautiful places. The stunning beaches, the lush jungles, the incredible wildlife. It's a privilege, and with that comes a little bit of responsibility to be a good traveler, a responsible tourist. We need to leave these places as beautiful as we found them, or maybe even a little better. One of the biggest challenges in Southeast Asia, like in many parts of the world, is plastic waste. You can make a huge difference with a few small changes. Carry a reusable water bottle and a reusable bag with you. You can refill your water bottle at your hotel, or at designated refill stations, which are becoming more and more common. Say no to plastic straws in your drinks. And when you buy souvenirs, try to carry them in your own tote bag instead of taking a new plastic bag from every shop. These seem like tiny things, but when millions of travelers do them, it adds up to a massive, positive impact. It's about being mindful of the footprint we leave behind. The same goes for wildlife and nature. If you go on a tour to see elephants, do your research. Make sure it's a true sanctuary that rescues and cares for the animals, not a place that offers rides or forces them to perform. When you're snorkeling or diving, don't touch the coral. It's a living organism and it's incredibly fragile. Support local, eco-friendly tour operators who are passionate about conservation. By making conscious, kind choices, we help ensure that the natural beauty of Southeast Asia can be enjoyed by locals and travelers alike for generations to come. It's the right thing to do. I'm going to tell you a secret. The best laid plans, sometimes they're meant to be broken. One of the most important things you can pack for a trip to Southeast Asia is a flexible attitude. Things might not always go exactly as you scheduled. A bus might be late, a restaurant you wanted to try might be closed, it might suddenly start pouring rain in the middle of a sunny day. And you know what? That's okay. In fact, that's where the adventure begins. It's in these unexpected moments that the real magic happens. Don't be afraid to wander off the main path. Turn down that little alleyway that looks interesting. Follow the sound of music you hear in the distance. Some of my best travel memories, the best meals I've ever had, were complete accidents. I got lost, I stumbled into a place I never would have found in a guidebook, and it was amazing. So, see your itinerary as a suggestion, not a strict set of rules. Leave room in your day for spontaneity. Embrace the unexpected. If you get caught in a rainstorm, duck into a little coffee shop and watch the world go by. You might meet the owner and have a wonderful conversation. If your bus is delayed, it's an opportunity to chat with the local family sitting next to you. Be open-minded, be patient, say yes to things. The beauty of this region isn't just in its sights, it's in its spirit. It's chaotic, it's vibrant, it's alive, and it doesn't always run on a perfect schedule. And that's what makes it so wonderful. Let go a little, and let Southeast Asia surprise you. In our normal lives, we're always rushing to work, rushing to meetings, rushing to get things done. The temptation can be to bring that same energy on vacation, to try and see 5 countries in 2 weeks. I'm here to tell you, please don't do that. Southeast Asia is a place to be savored, not conquered. The biggest mistake I see people make is overscheduling their itinerary. They've got every single hour of every day planned out, and honestly, they end up spending more time in transit, on buses, trains, and planes, than they do actually experiencing a place. My advice is to travel slower, pick fewer places and spend more time in each one. This gives you a chance to actually unpack your bag, to get to know a neighborhood, to become a regular at a local coffee shop or noodle stall. It allows you to move beyond being a tourist who is just ticking things off a list and become a traveler who is actually connecting with a place. You'll discover hidden gems that aren't on the main tourist trail, and you'll have a much more relaxing and meaningful experience. Remember to factor in the travel time itself. A bus ride that looks like it's 4 hours on a map might take 6 or 7 with traffic and stops. That's just how it is. So, build in buffer days. Build in days where you have absolutely nothing planned at all, a day to just sit by the pool, read a book, wander aimlessly, or do your laundry. Burnout is a real thing, even on vacation. Giving yourself permission to relax ensures you have the energy to fully enjoy the amazing experiences you do have planned. Quality over quantity, my friends. Always. Travel has the power to change us, but it also has the power to impact the places we visit. And we want that impact to be a positive one, right? Let's talk about ethical travel and cultural sensitivity. It really boils down to traveling with kindness and awareness. One of the best ways to do this is to support local businesses whenever you can. Eat at family-owned restaurants instead of international chains. Buy your souvenirs directly from the artisan who made them at the market. Stay in a local guest house instead of a big foreign-owned hotel. When you do this, your money goes directly into the hands of the local community. It helps them support their families, preserve their traditions, and thrive. It makes your trip a force for good. And on that note, be mindful of how you handle money and wealth. While a few dollars might not seem like a lot to you, it can be a significant amount to a local person. So bargain respectfully and with a smile, but don't haggle aggressively over a few cents. Avoid ostentatious displays of wealth like wearing flashy jewelry or pulling out huge wads of cash. It's about being humble and respectful of the local economic realities. And finally, a simple one. Be kind, be patient, smile. A smile is a universal language. You will encounter language barriers. You will encounter different customs. Things will be confusing sometimes. In all these moments, just lead with kindness. Show gratitude. Thank the people who help you, who cook for you, who welcome you. Your attitude has a ripple effect, not just on your own experience, but on how locals perceive travelers in general. Let's all be good ambassadors for the global community of travelers. It's the most beautiful souvenir we can leave behind. Okay, last chapter, and it's another one of the boring but important ones. Let's talk about being prepared for emergencies. Look, 99.9% of the time, your trip will be perfectly fine and wonderful. But for that tiny 0.1% chance that something goes wrong, you lose your passport, you get sick, you have an accident, having a plan in place turns a potential disaster into a manageable inconvenience. The first step? Before you leave home, look up the contact information and address for your country's embassy or consulate in every country you plan to visit. Save it in your phone and write it down somewhere. They are your lifeline if you get into serious trouble. Next, have a list of emergency contacts. Not just your family back home, but maybe a friend who is a seasoned traveler. Email this list to yourself and give a copy to your family. It should include your flight details, your general itinerary, and copies of your important documents like we talked about earlier. This way, if someone needs to find you or help you, they have all the information they need in one place. It's a simple step that can make a world of difference in a stressful situation. And the most important piece of paper you will carry with you, besides your passport, is your travel insurance policy. I cannot stress this enough. Do not travel without it. It is not a place to save money. A good policy will cover you for everything from a canceled flight to lost luggage to, most importantly, medical emergencies. Medical care abroad can be incredibly expensive. Having insurance means you can get the care you need without worrying about a massive bill. Read the policy, understand what it covers, especially for activities like renting a scooter, and hope you never have to use it. It's the ultimate safety net for peace of mind. And there you have it. That's our whirlwind tour of tips and tricks for making the most of an adventure in Southeast Asia. From doing your homework and packing a good attitude to eating everything in sight and staying safe, we've covered a lot. Think of this as your foundation, a starting point to build your own incredible journey upon. This region is one of the most special places on Earth, and I'm just so happy for you that you're thinking of going. The diversity here is just mind-blowing. In a single trip, you can explore ancient, majestic temples, relax on some of the world's most beautiful beaches, trek through lush, green jungles, and dive into the most vibrant, chaotic, and delicious cities you'll ever experience. But the real beauty of Southeast Asia? It's the people, the warmth, the hospitality, the smiles. That's the thing you'll remember long after you've come home. It's what will make you want to go back again and again. So please take these tips, but don't let them overwhelm you. The most important things to pack are an open heart, a curious mind, and a good appetite. Be prepared, but be flexible. Be respectful, but be adventurous. Immerse yourself in the beautiful chaos of it all and let it change you a little. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me share this with you. Now go book that ticket. Have the most amazing, delicious, and safe travels. I can't wait to hear your stories.